Hello and welcome to today's video. We're going to go over my top 5 players in each role in the world at the moment. Every time I do this, I always end up with arguments in the comment section. I try and not allow for, worlds to really affect these rankings, same as MSI in spring. The fact of the matter is, this game changes every 2 weeks. It's not like a traditional sport where the rules always are the same and there are slight tweaks year to year. Esport changes every 2 weeks. We see the champions that are meta in the beginning of the year be completely absent from the meta at the end of the year, or year to year in general. The fact of the matter is, you cannot, in my opinion, look at worlds and then determine your top 5s off of only worlds. You cannot take even a season and necessarily make big swings at a top 5, only because there is a reason why you had the other players in a different ranking before. Maybe the meta was different the year prior, and now you have to factor that in. You say, okay, well, maybe this player isn't good on control mages, but they're really good on assassins, and the other one is vice versa. So now you got to say, okay, well, in the grand scheme of things, they're pretty equal. It's just dependent on meta. Sorry for the background. We'll start with top lane. I wrote down some player names on here just to give myself some reference to work through here. So first things first, and this is probably the easiest part for this. We're getting rid of the 3 Western tops. There's no way a Western top's in the top 5. So Blippo, Photon, and Broken Blade are out. Now, in terms of the 9 players I have up, 8 players, I have Keen, Doran, Zeus, 369, Zika, Bin, Ale, and Breathe. So Breathe will be the first one out. And he had a great Worlds, a great summer. That is undeniable. However, like I just said, his prior work speaks for itself. It does not mean he's bad. He was, top 8, at least on my board. And then Ale. Ale, I thought, looked very good with Anyone's Legend. Now, with EDG, it was a tire fire, but I thought he was okay with them too. So, Ale deserves a lot more respect than he's given by the community. Oftentimes I'll see people say X player or this player is a bad player, and I'll be like, okay, well, they're tier 1. Can you name 2/3 of the players in their role that are better? And then they get real silent because they don't want to, they know they can't do that. They just want to say something for, like, effect. And it's like, okay, you're the 2-year-old that throws a tantrum looking for attention. So Ale, good player, just not somebody that is in the top 5, sorry. Now, these 6 are definitely the 6 that we got to work through here. So, starting at the top, I'm going to go Bin. Bin, I thought at Worlds was very good. Bin prior to Worlds was very good. He's always been in that top conversation. He may not have won Worlds, but I thought Bin was the most impactful top laner at the event. He's very strong. He's very talented. Hopefully this cat does not step on my computer. He's not. Hopefully he continues to not do that, and he gets down off of the desk. Get down off of the desk. There we go. We're not going to edit that out. So, Bin first. Zeus second. I think that's pretty easy. We're going to go Keen third. Keen had the best season last year of tops. We saw that in my best and worst players of 2024. Statistically, he checks out. Obviously, he's very good anyway, so he's in that conversation. And then we're going to go 369 and Doran. No matter what anyone says about 369 or Doran, they're still one of the best top laners in the world for literally 85 or 80% of the season. So Can't ignore 80% because 20% was rough. I think that is foolish. So that's a top 5 in top lane. Jungle role. Let's work through this. So we're going to get rid of the Western players again. There's nobody in the conversation. I think Yike, Razork, Elyoya, Inspired, Blabber, and Spica are all very good. Spica's kind of close to Elyoya in my opinion. If he was on a team capable of what Elyoya's is, he can be just as good. So they're out. I'm not including Umpty in here. Umpty showed for years in the LCK that he was not a top. He was not at the level of these guys, so, that is what it is. So now, working my way through the rest, I have Canyon, Peanut, Owner, the Meteor, Kanavi, Tien, Tarzan, Beshwan, Milky Way, Shun, and JJ. I do not have Kuz on here. I do not have Pioshik on here. Excuse me. With that in mind, first we're going to go Canyon, and then Kanavi. Then Owner, then Tarzan. So that's pretty easy. I'm kind of stuck in my ways on that. I think still Canyon and Kanavi are the best in their role. Then you end up with a situation where Owner at Worlds was excellent. He was very, very good. Now he's been good for a while. He's gotten deep into playoffs. Worlds a couple times has shown to be very solid. Now, shot calling, not necessarily a big impactful player in that respect. So then you end up in a situation where I got to choose between a guy like Peanut, who, great facilitator, of course, making things happen. Tien, great facilitator and can also carry. Wei showed with Shun that they can be very good. But then there's JJ. JJ had one of the best seasons last year statistically, and he was on a disaster of a team. So it's one of those things like, oh my God, just 1 second. Sorry about that. People just not respecting this process. So, shoot. 5th place. I'm gonna probably go with I'm gonna go with JJ. I'm gonna get kind of crazy with it here. Statistically, JJ was excellent, and that's what I'm gonna lean on here. And I think, JJ showed that. He was on a terrible EDG team, and he still looked super, super good. Mid lane. Let's get the players out of here that don't belong. So first, Humanoid, APA, and JoJo certainly do not belong on this list. Caps can be talked about. Fofo, Great Azir, not in the top 5. Xiaohu was not very good this year, and I think it's starting to fall off, so he's out. A player like Closer, very good, not in the top 5. Showmaker like Xiaohu, falling off, not in the top 5. Okay, so Scout, falling off, not in the top 5. So that leaves me with Chovy, Faker, Zeka, BDD, Bulldog, Knight, Rookie, Cream, Shanks, and Caps. You're going to say, why is BDD and Bulldog up here? BDD had one of the best statistical seasons last year, as did Bulldog. Bulldog is on a tire fire in KDF. He should have been the most sought-after free agent in mid lane in this free agency period. Especially when you think of budgetary concerns and things like that. He would have been so much cheaper than a Chovy that, honestly, it would have been worth it to go with Bulldog and then spend money elsewhere, in my opinion. So, mid lane, Knight is first. Chovy second. Rookie third. So, rookie had a great season. People say he's washed, this, that, and the third. The numbers do not indicate what you think, unless you can bring other numbers that aren't win rate to the equation. So that's the top three. And then we get into the nitty gritty here. Faker, I'm going to put fourth. Faker showed in finals just how good he still can be. Not to just cite finals. Of course, he got there. He did have a good season at times. And still, that X factor is the shot calling portion of his repertoire is taking up a big reason of why he's top 5. And then after that, we're going to go with this is where things get tough, because I personally, I think Caps should be in this conversation. Cream, in my opinion, really didn't, he's got room to grow. Shanks, it's hard because Shanks, I think, is really good domestically, but we've never seen him internationally to try and cross-reference. Zeka, of course, super good player. But Caps didn't get to quarterfinals again. We're going to go Zeka. I think you can make an argument for Caps. Bot lane. We're going to get rid of Hansama, Supa, Masu, but they deserve to be on the board. We're going to get rid of Teddy. I mean, great statistical season, but not top 5 anymore. Leave Fodic, Wanfeng. Not really giving us anything anymore. Fodic, Senna, win rate dropped significantly this past year. Kind of unfortunate. Wanfeng had a top-notch statistical season with what turned to be a disaster alongside him in support. He had a mid laner playing support for some of the games in summer. And then Leave, I mean, he's good, but he's not top 5 good. So now we have Ruler, Guma, Viper, Aiming, Pays, Elk, Jaculov, Gala, and Light. So, let's go with Viper and Elk, 1 and 2. Ruler, 3rd. And this is where things get tough, because I got 2 spots, and you got Guma, Aiming, Pays. And really, like, Gala should be in that conversation, but now that Guma has done so well, I think Gala kind of, And Aiming had a great entire season, as did Pays. We're going to go Pays and then Aiming. And I can already hear butthurt T1 fans without Guma in the top 5. He's won 2 worlds, went to finals in 2022. He's the best, this, that, and the third. So the season is a 10-month season, so if you do good for 10% of it, and you do really good for 10% of it, like a top 5 80 carry for 10% of it, I recognize it as 10%. I don't recognize it as 100%. So he's in the conversation. I would say he's 6th. But Aiming played a great season, not just one patch, but a great season, and has put up consistently top statistical performances. Top 3 almost every split, where Guma cannot claim the same for years. So that's the thing. Like, got to perform all season long, or at least more than 10% of it. When we look at the whole season, Guma performed for 10, aiming for 80. That's what's going to happen. And then 5's, of course. I mean, 5's, I still factor in his age and things like that. I probably shouldn't, but I do. I think he is so freaking good. And he does his job at a high level. Support. So Mickey, June, Trimby, Core JJ are out. They are the top 4 in my opinion in the West. Then after that, let's take others out. Life is out. He is good, but not top 5 good. Hung is not top 5 good anymore. Ming definitely is not top 5 anymore. And then we end up in a situation where we have Delight, Lahens, Carria, Kellen, Barrel, Cal, Mako, Missing, On, and Crisp. So, great players, of course. And the support role is one that I really value a lot of player flexibility and things with. So, first is Carria. At Worlds, I thought he was the reason they won. Got them that far, sorry. Finals was Faker, but Carria got them that far. Excuse me. Mako played a great season, and he was in that conversation for top tier going into the event anyways. Then we're going to go, excuse me, Missing and Lahens. Lahens is going to really prove his worth this year on Nongshim. Either he's going to be, I really hope he makes it through this season and still has a career left. And then you have Delight, Kellen, Barrel, Cal, On, and Crisp. Now, in the end here, On really struggled for BLG. He was a real reason why they had trouble at Worlds. But there were times this year that he was like the best in the world. Delight was good all last year, but this year not as good alongside Viper in my opinion. Cal, of course, continues to be excellent. Just a player that I really like. I think is really good. Kellen is still very freaking good too. Barrel is an inter. He probably should have been erased already. So we're going to go On because of his great spring and great year last year. You know. Yeah, I think the only thing that's really going to upset some people is the Guma call, but, you know, that is what it is. You know, people got to get over it. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.